What factors are key to motivation? What is your favorite workout? Why are you so passionate about hybrid training? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Always Active podcast, the show that empowers you to lead an active lifestyle. I'm your host, Katie, and in this episode, I'll be answering your questions about my fitness journey, the podcast, and more. The first episode of the Always Active podcast aired on February 13th, 2024. So this marks the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. So welcome to season 2. I can't believe it has already been 1 year. This time has really flown by. To celebrate this milestone and as a thank you for listening and being part of this community, I am doing a giveaway. I'll be giving away a $50 Lululemon gift card, so be sure to keep listening for details on how to enter. And without further ado, let's get psyched to move. So we'll just get right into the questions. The first one you asked was, what's your favorite lower body exercise? I think my answer to this question depends on when you ask me because it kind of changes from time to time. Right now I'm doing lots of lower body as part of the program that I'm following at the gym, and so I have been enjoying it and I've been doing lots of different lower body exercises, but I would say that right now my favorite lower body exercise would be deadlifts. Right now I'm working towards a strength goal and I am seeing improvements in my lifts and getting stronger and I'm lifting heavier each week, which is exciting. And yeah, I feel like compared to some of the other big lifts, I don't know, deadlifts just seem a little bit less dreadful. I kind of look forward to doing them. And then some other honorable mentions would be a leg press. I've been liking the seated leg press recently. Back extensions are fun. I've really been liking those. I feel like it's a good way to help with glute activation at the beginning of a workout. Good mornings I've been really enjoying. It's another hinge movement and it's another good compound lift. And then cable kickbacks. Those ones are fun. I like how it's a leg exercise that uses the cable machine because I feel like there aren't a ton of those. And I feel like when I'm doing that exercise, I can really feel the engagement in the muscles that I'm trying to target. What factors are key to motivation for a good and persistent fitness journey? I think when it really comes down to it, the factors that are the most important for motivation would be having a strong why. That really is the foundation. Having a very compelling reason for why you want to be on this fitness journey. That is going to be so essential for getting you motivated in the first place and then keeping you motivated in the long term when you are inevitably wanting to start to fall off. You come back to that why and you remind yourself why you started in the first place. Another critical factor is having the right mindset. You really can't accomplish anything in terms of taking practical action if you have a negative mindset that's holding you back. You need to have a positive, open mindset, be open to growth and learning, and just realize that this is something that you're going to be in for the long haul. So starting with the right mindset and constantly refining your mindset is super important for a persistent fitness journey. And then in terms of practical strategies, these again are strategies I talk about all the time, but they would be goal setting, planning, and tracking your progress. In the exercise psychology world, these are called behavioral regulation strategies. And I think that these are the keys to success. Once you have a strong why and once you have your mindset right, then you can implement these practical tips. And when you set goals, when you are creating an action plan to follow through with those goals, and then when you check in on a regular basis to ensure that you're making progress toward your goals and adjusting your goals as needed, that is the secret sauce. That is the secret formula. If I had to distill every motivation tip I have into a few tips, that is it. That's all you need to know. And so you'll probably find that I'm repeatedly mentioning these themes over and over again through all my episodes because it really is that simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And if you practice these key elements, I think you will be successful on your fitness journey. If exercising was your full-time job, what would your week look like? If exercise was my full-time job, that would be a dream come true. I love this question. And it really got me thinking, like, what would my life look like if that was what I dedicated my whole life to? I think I might get bored after a while, but let's say this is my full-time job, 9 to 5. What would my week look like? Starting with my morning routine, I would wake up nice and early, get myself ready, have a nice nutritious breakfast, and probably just make my way right to the gym, clock in right at 9 for whatever class or workout I had to do. Then I would do my workout. I could take my sweet time doing this, staying at the gym for probably a couple hours. I would get myself a nice gym membership, that's for sure, because if it's my full-time job, I might as well invest in a good gym membership. Probably after my workout, I might go swimming because my gym would have a pool. and maybe use the sauna and then grab a smoothie at the smoothie bar on the way out. And then after my workout, I guess it would probably be lunchtime at that point. So I would go make myself a nice nutritious meal, probably meal prep for the rest of the week at that point, if we're assuming this starts on a Monday. And then we're moving on to the afternoon. At that point, I would probably have to do something other than working out. I would probably coach or do some personal training and support other people with exercising. And then once the workday was done, I would go for a walk and then make myself a healthy dinner. And then after my dinner, I guess I'm done work at this point, so I wouldn't have to keep working out, but probably just relax and spend some time with friends and family, and then transition into my night routine. And then during my night routine, I would start by planning out my workout for tomorrow and laying out my workout gear, and just do lots of nice wind down activities to get me in the right headspace for going to sleep. Maybe do some stretching at that point. And then I've actually been coloring before bed recently. I really recommend doing that. I don't like reading, but I do look forward to coloring for maybe like half an hour before I go to sleep. And that helps to replace screen time. So, little bonus tip there. And then I just go to sleep and then I'd start it all again the next day. Yeah, I think it would probably get boring after a while. Like, as much as I feel like that would be a dream come true, I don't know. I feel like there's only so much you can do if your whole job is to exercise. But I would probably sign up for some sort of fitness competitions or events and have some kind of goal to work towards so that way it would feel more purposeful. I would also incorporate a lot of variety, so doing some different kind of workouts every day so that way I wouldn't get bored with my routine, and also really prioritizing my recovery, because if I'm working out every single day, then I need to make sure that I'm doing the right things to keep my body in working order and not overdoing it and getting myself too exhausted. So really prioritizing my sleep, stretching every day, using the sauna regularly, getting massages. I would definitely go for like probably a weekly massage if I was working out as my full-time job. And then on the weekends, I would have active recovery days, because if I'm working out 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, then I would need to kind of just chill out on the weekend, go for some nice leisurely walks, or maybe I would golf. I mean, I guess I would definitely work after hours because I would want to make sure that I was recovering appropriately on the weekend. I really like this question, and I think it would be a good journal prompt actually for us all to reflect on. I'm sure I could come up with a better answer if I took some time to like sit down and write about it and journal, but I would encourage you to reflect on this journal prompt and then pull out elements of your ideal routine. If exercising was your full-time job, pull out elements and then see what can you actually draw in to your reality, because you might be closer than you think. A lot of the things that I talked about in my answer are things that I already kind of do, just with limited time. So I think that if it was my full-time job, it would kind of remove that time struggle and just enable me to do everything at a more leisurely pace without having to rush and be so on top of things when it came to time management. Thank you for that question, and definitely encourage you to ask yourself that question as well. Top recommendations from Lululemon. Number one, I've talked about this before, and it is the Align high-rise crop legging with pockets. I have so many pairs of these leggings. I have probably close to 10 pairs of these leggings, and they are my go-to. I wear them all the time. They're so comfortable. They have pockets so I can keep my phone in it when I am moving around at the gym, and they are super versatile. Definitely recommend, and I will be purchasing even more in different colors. The Energy bra is my favorite sports bra. It has a cute crisscross back. The Wonder Train Racerback tank is probably my favorite crop top from Lululemon. And that's actually the top that I'm wearing in the cover art of the podcast. The Everywhere belt bag I have in multiple different colors and sizes, and I love this. I really do bring it everywhere, whether I'm going for a hike or I'm running errands, or I really just use it as a replacement for a purse in a lot of cases because I feel like it's more practical. But it's practical, it's cute, it's popular for a reason, and I definitely recommend. I would say those are my top most used favorite products from Lululemon, but there really are so many others that I like. But if I had to recommend just a few, those would be it. And you can actually find the links to all of those products in the show notes. It's linked in my Like to Know It, where it says favorite products. What is your favorite workout? It's hard for me to pick one specific workout, but I would say that my favorite style of training would be hybrid training, meaning incorporating a variety of different activities into my routine. And those activities would be weightlifting, running, golf, yoga, soccer, hikes, and group fitness classes. Those are my top favorite ways to work out. And I would say that elements of a workout that make it even better would be if I'm working out with a friend rather than working out by myself. I always find it more enjoyable to be with a friend. It needs to be challenging, so that way I feel like I've pushed myself and I've accomplished something and I feel fulfilled, but not challenging to the point where I am pushing myself beyond my limits and causing myself to be incredibly sore. Because, side note, I did that this weekend and I'm still suffering the consequences from that 3 days later. My arms are so sore. I could barely even put on my jacket yesterday. That's not fun at that point. You need to be appropriately challenged. That's important. And then a workout where I just feel like after I've completed it, I have more energy than when I entered the workout and I am in a better mood. Those are the elements of a workout that would make it be my favorite workout. But again, there are so many different styles of training that I like to do. So those styles of training plus those elements, those would be my favorite workouts. The last listener question was, what's a fitness or dieting fad that you tried and it wasn't your vibe? I've tried so many different fitness and diet trends over the years, and some of them have stuck, but a lot of them was like, this is not my vibe at all. So to name a few, one would be reformer Pilates. I'm not a reformer Pilates hater, but I don't understand the hype and the price point associated with it. It just feels ridiculous to me that it costs that much to do reformer Pilates. It was fine. I enjoyed it, but I just don't get the hype and I don't understand why it's so expensive. Cleanses, those I can't get behind at all. That's something that I tried honestly close to 10 years ago at this point. It was after the holidays and I felt like I had been over consuming food during the holidays, and so I tried to do a cleanse. I think it was a 3-day cleanse where I was just eating like soups and drinking juices, and it was just horrible. Like, not only did I not really know how to cook at that time, so the food that I was making just tasted terrible, but it was just not a pleasant experience whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure there's not any scientific backing behind it, so I don't recommend that at all. Quick fix challenges, again, that's something that I've tried time and time again. I don't know why it took me so long to learn my lesson, but if something is promising you results in 30 days, that is an automatic red flag. Don't even bother with it because it's just going to overpromise results and then underdeliver in many cases. Cold showers, I feel like those were really trendy a couple years ago, and yeah, it's definitely not my vibe. Like, as much as there could be health benefits associated with it, I just don't care to put myself through that. I need to many times see the benefits of something in order to continue with the behavior. With the cold showers, I just couldn't see any benefits and it wasn't beneficial or gratifying in the moment. 5:30 a.m. wake ups to work out. The early morning routine is something that's super trendy on social media, and I can definitely see the benefits to waking up early, but I was waking up at 5:30 pretty consistently every day in the summer during lockdown. And then after that time, I have literally never been able to get myself to that point again. And I don't want to. I don't have a strong enough why to wake up at 5:30 to get me to do the things that I need to do to wake up that early. I can live my life and enjoy my routine not waking up at 5:30. So not my vibe, will not be doing that again, at least not at this phase of my life. Macro tracking. This is something that I have talked about before, and I could recommend that you do it for a short period of time just to understand what the calories and macronutrients in the food that you're consuming are, but it's not something that I can get behind doing long term. And progress photos. That's another thing that I have just struggled with over the years. Taking progress photos is just not something that I enjoy. It's not something that I feel is motivating to me, and for that reason, I tend not to take progress photos. If you stuck around to this point in the episode, this is the part where I will be announcing the giveaway details. I'll be giving away one $50 Canadian Lululemon gift card, and there are a few things that you need to do in order to get a full entry into this giveaway. First, you need to be following at all.ways.active on Instagram. That's actually where I had announced the giveaway last week, so if you were following, then you would have known about this a week earlier. You will need to like the giveaway post, tag a friend in the comments of the giveaway post who you would recommend the podcast to and who you think would really enjoy the podcast as much as you do, and then finally share the giveaway post on your Instagram story and mention your favorite episode of the podcast in that story. And please be sure to tag me so that I can see it. I'll link the Instagram giveaway post in the show notes so that you're able to access it easily. When this podcast episode airs, there will be 1 week until the contest closes. So it will end on February 27th, 2025. And then if you are randomly selected from the raffle as the winner of the giveaway, then I'll contact you to let you know on Instagram, and I'll also announce the winner in the next episode of the podcast. Again, I just wanted to thank you for being part of this community and supporting the podcast. So this is my way to give back, and I hope to do many giveaways in the future. Okay, so now moving on to some questions that weren't asked by you, but these are more just frequently asked questions that I get pretty often. The first one is, what's your current workout routine? As you know, I like to follow a hybrid training approach. I would say right now, my workout routine, as much as I still consistently show up week after week, I don't have a very good routine in place, and it's something that I'm currently trying to figure out. So every week looks a little bit different, but if I had to distill it down to the main workouts that I do pretty consistently every week, I do 3 weightlifting workouts a week, so 2 lower body days, 1 upper body day. I do 1 yoga workout a week, whether that is online, following a YouTube video, or in a class. I've been consistently golfing once a week. I mentioned back in my 2025 goal setting video that was one of my goals, and I've actually been very consistent about golfing every week. I like to do 1 cardio session a week, so whether that's running or doing a cardio-based group fitness class or just doing a cardio home workout. And then I like to do 1 active recovery day a week. So this is usually just a lighter intensity workout that I'll do at home, whether it's a lower intensity Pilates workout or just walking on the treadmill for an hour, something where I just am not pushing myself quite as hard as usual. And then aside from that, I like to prioritize daily walks and stretching, although I will say I don't consistently every single day walk or stretch, but these are both things that I like to do at least probably 4 to 6 times a week. What do you study in school? Right now, I'm in the 3rd year of my PhD program in kinesiology. Kin is a super broad field, so there are lots of different areas that you can specialize in, but my research is focused on physical activity promotion. So I'm interested in understanding how to apply psychological principles to motivate people to exercise, which, as I'm sure you can see, is very closely related to the goal of this podcast. And then another big focus of my research is knowledge mobilization. Knowledge mobilization is all about taking research findings and knowledge and then translating it into practical action in the real world, which again is something that I like to do through this podcast. I often will take the exercise psychology principles and the research and then bring it here to inform the different topics that I talk about and a lot of the strategies that I share. And then a related question is, what's my plan for when I'm done with school? This is the $1,000,000 question that I get asked on a very regular basis by my friends and family and people in my life. Honestly, probably on a weekly basis almost. And my answer is, I don't quite know yet. I don't have an exact job title associated with what I would like to do when I'm done school. I plan to finish school in the next year or so. So now really is the time where I am really thinking about what I would like to do when I'm finished. I know for a fact that I want to continue working in the physical activity promotion space. I just don't quite know what it'll look like yet, whether it's in a workplace wellness setting or doing health coaching. I'm not quite sure, but I hope to figure that out in the next year. And I'll definitely update you on where my career path takes me. Why are you so passionate about hybrid training? I've mentioned this before, but if you're not familiar, hybrid training just refers to a style of training where you're incorporating both cardio and strength activities into your routine. And hybrid training has been something that I've been passionate about ever since I started my YouTube channel 4 years ago, even before the name Always Active came to be, because I just think there's so many benefits associated with this style of training. Not only is it helping to incorporate more variety into your routine, which is more motivating, it also helps you to be a more well-rounded athlete, prioritizing both your cardio and your strength. And there are also so many health and fitness benefits associated with this style of training. Hybrid training really is just a fancy way of describing meeting the physical activity guidelines, meaning 150 minutes per week of moderate to vigorous aerobic physical activity and at least 2 strength training sessions a week. So this has been my philosophy from the beginning, and the buzzword hybrid training came to be in the past year or so. So I figured I might as well tag that along with all of my content. But at its very core, it just refers to doing a variety of different types of activities because there are so many benefits to it. So That's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why this podcast is named Always Active, because I really want to promote the value of incorporating a variety of different ways to engage in physical activity in your routine. What's your best advice for someone just starting on their fitness journey? First and foremost, having the right mindset really is the most foundational and essential step. I also recommend just taking action, not overthinking it, not over planning, and just starting, because you will learn through experience. Also, starting small. Don't overwhelm yourself and go from 0 to 100. Just take small actions every day, and that's what's going to help you to experience a transformational lifestyle change. And also recognize that this is a long-term journey. If you are a beginner, this is day one of thousands of days ahead of you on this journey. And so I really encourage you to find the activities that you enjoy doing and fall in love with this process. And that's what's going to help you to start and sustain your fitness journey in the long term. And if you'd like a deeper dive into this topic, I cover it in episodes 8 and 25. How can someone figure out what type of movement they actually enjoy doing? My answer to this is to just try things out, experiment, and see what you like. You can launch and take action, and then take an inventory of how you feel after doing that activity, and then adjust. And you can try different activities, and with time, you're bound to find something that you will enjoy. Go into each activity with the mindset that you only have to do it once or twice. If you hate it, you never have to do it again, but at least you tried it. At least you can rule it out, and then you can make your decision from there, rather than just having a negative mindset and not even trying something in the first place. You might as well try it, because you never know if you might actually really enjoy it. Also, if you're trying something out for the first time, be sure to do it in a way that is low cost and low commitment. There are all sorts of free trials when it comes to a lot of different gyms and group fitness classes. There's lots of videos that you can follow along with on YouTube for free. There's lots of activities that you can do without any equipment, just using online resources. So don't go and invest all of your life savings into something without even knowing if you'll like it. Just start small, keep it low pressure, low commitment, and then you can decide from there. And then also recognize that the activities you enjoy doing will probably change over time. I've enjoyed different activities at certain points in my journey, and I don't really do them anymore, but it's not like I'm going to rule them out completely. I might do them again at some point in the future, but for the time being, I've just found what works for me, and it will continuously change. For example, I used to do spin classes, and I really liked those at the start of my fitness journey, but I honestly can't remember the last time I've done a spin class at this point. So recognize that it is a journey. You are going to continually evolve and just figure it out with time. And for more tips on how to find your favorite ways to work out, listen to episode 3, which I can't believe that was released close to a year ago at this point. What's been your favorite episode of the podcast so far, and why? I would say my favorite episode to date would be part 1 of the High Rocks Diaries, so High Rocks Training for Beginners. I really like that episode because, like I've mentioned countless times, completing High Rocks last year really was my biggest fitness accomplishment of 2024, and it was a big deal. And so I was really excited to document my experience and then share it with all of you. The series is actually called the High Rocks Diaries because I literally was writing a diary about my experience training for High Rocks. Every time I trained for High Rocks, I would go onto my computer and jot a few notes down in my Notion about how the workout went and what I learned from it and how the experience of training was going. And so I definitely put a lot of time and effort into that episode, and I hope that it is valuable for anyone who is interested in wanting to start training for High Rocks. And it's actually been my most listened to episode on YouTube so far. So clearly lots of people are interested in training for High Rocks, and I hope that it can help them if it is their first time training for this big fitness competition. And the last question is, what's next for the podcast? What's coming in season 2? In season 2, I plan to really prioritize having guests on the podcast. In the first year of the podcast, I did lots of solo episodes, which I enjoyed, but I also discovered that I enjoyed doing guest episodes with John and Kira. And so interviewing the two of them really was kind of a trial run to see how things would go. But now I have my second microphone, I have the video setup all figured out, and so coming soon, there will be lots of guest episodes on the podcast. In season 2, I also want to focus on improving the video quality of the video podcast and also improving my setup. And of course, I want to continue documenting my journey and the goals that I'm working toward over the next year. There are lots of goals that I shared in my first episode of 2025, and even since then, in the past month, there have been new opportunities that have come up, and I've already shifted my focus in some ways to pursue some new goals. So I'm really excited to share all about that in the future. So that's what I have in mind for season 2. And please let me know what you would like to see, and I'll make sure to make it happen. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Thank you for an incredible first year of the podcast. I'm so grateful for this community, and I'm beyond excited for everything that's to come in the next season. Please remember to enter the giveaway. I'll leave the Instagram post with all the details for how to enter in the show notes. And please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast so that way you don't miss a future episode. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.